What is the difference between a star employee and other employees? The key difference is that the efforts put in by a star employee directly gets converted into either money or fame. And in my career of HR with IT companies so far, I have seen both kind of employees, star employees as well as totally opposite employees as well. So you can really count on the tips and strategies that I share with you all so that you can use these tips and you can plan yourself to be a star employee so that whatever effort you put in your job, that gets converted into more money in terms of your salary or better designation or maybe something more, some better opportunities, who knows. So if that is something that interests you, keep on watching. This video is powered by Keka. So starting with the point number 1, which is have a very short response time, or you can say turnaround time. This strategy says that whenever you receive any kind of communication, it can be from your manager, from your team members, from your client, no matter from whom you have got it, regardless of the source, you have to make sure that you respond to that communications within a pleasant time frame. Now, what is a pleasant time frame? You want to make sure that you respond it as soon as possible. Now, I'm not saying that you reply to emails every single second, no, but as soon as possible, as soon as it's feasible for you. Here, I'm not saying to give an answer to the problem that they have shared with you or just deliver whatever they have asked in the email right away. No, I'm saying just respond to that communication. You can respond saying that, hey, I've noted whatever you have shared and I've started working on it. Or you can say, sure, I've noted it and I'll start working on it as soon as possible. Or maybe you can add the timeline as well if it's feasible, because all of this matters. When your manager discuss your feedback in the performance appraisals on the table of calibrations, as a HR, I can tell you that these points get noticed, these points get counted. Your manager shares the feedback that how amazing your response time is, how amazing your turnaround time is. Everyone who works with you always praises about your shorter response time. So that is something that you want to keep in mind if you want to plan your becoming a star employee journey. Now moving on to our next very important point, which is deliver as per your KPIs. Now I have briefly discussed about KPIs and KRAs in one of my earlier videos as well. If you really want a dedicated video on that, you can let me know in the comment section. I'll consider doing a KPI and KRA video, a detailed one, if a lot of you want it. But for now, it's important for you to understand that if you want to become a star employee, you have to make KPIs your Bible. Every single task that you do, every single responsibility, duty that you perform, it should be in alignment with your KPIs. And especially if you want to maximize your hike within a year, you want to maximize the number of promotions that you get within a year, then it's directly proportional to how much you have achieved in terms of your KPIs. For example, you're working in a sales team, then making sales, doing sales is your KRA. It comes under your key responsibilities area. Now your key performance indicator, which shows that how well you have performed your sales, how your manager will evaluate that how your sales went, you did it good or you did it bad. While there will be many indicators, one of that will be how many sales you have done. So your manager will define that how many in the beginning of the year. He might say that you have to do like 4 sales per month, or you have to do, for example, 40 sales per year. So whatever that number is, whatever that indicator is, that is very important. And how much you achieve in relevance to that indicator, that determines everything. That determines how well you performed, that determines how much hike you'll get and everything around it. Now there will be many indicators, many KPIs, not only one, but you have to make sure that you're well aligned with all the indicators, because every indicator will have some point against it. And you have to make sure that whenever somebody approaches you with a new work, new task, maybe a manager from a different team approaches you to ask if you can help in certain tasks, you have to see whether that task is in alignment with your current KPIs or not. If it is not aligned, and if you are obliged to do it anyway, you know that you will have to do it, you can't escape it, then get that task added in your KRA and get the corresponding KPIs defined. Otherwise, it will be considered just as a back burner task where you'll put a lot of effort, but you'll not get anything out of it, and nobody will notice your efforts towards that task. So that is also very important. Now, the next point on the list is be the SPOC of the team. single point of contact. And now what they have to do, they have to basically be the face of the team. Now, being a SPOC is not any title or position. It's not that your manager will come to you and say, congratulations, you have been titled or designated as a SPOC. No, it's an unofficial, or you can say informal identity, which some people just create by themselves out of nowhere, or other people see them as a face of the team. So the quality of this person is that no matter who comes to them, they always have an answer for that person. For example, your manager reaches out to you for an update on the project. Doesn't matter who is doing that project in the team, but this person always has an update. He knows what client said, he knows what the challenges are. If someone from other team has some work with this SPOC's team, then they prefer to reach out to this person, this SPOC, then checking with other person, because they know if they speak to this SPOC person, their work will be done. They'll get their answer, they'll get their job done. Honestly, not many people like being on this spot, but who does, they definitely make a significant progress in their career. Now, the next point on our list is presentation skills for every task. Now, here I'm not talking about the literal presentation skill where you have to go on the stage and present something. Now, that skill is also amazing if you have it, but I'm not talking about that skill because not many people have it inherently. Many people do not have the opportunity to practice again and again being on the stage because their profile is such. Here I'm talking about presentation skills in your day-to-day work. Say, for example, you have to write an email or you have to send an Excel sheet to your manager. Do not send those boring Excel sheets. Try to put some effort and make it look presentable. If possible, add some pivot charts or any other kind of chart. Make it presentable. In email also, if it's a long email, try to break it into paragraphs and try to color code each paragraph with different colors. It makes such a difference. And here you have to standardize your presentation skills so much that people know that if they have received such an email, if they have received such an Excel file, then they by default know that this has been sent by you. There should be so much standardization in that work that someday if your manager sees a beautiful report or a presentation which is not done by you, but still by default they think of your name, that this employee must have done it. So much standardization. So make sure that you put in some effort and make those boring emails and Excel files look little good, and you'd really practice your presentation skills there. Now, the next point on the list is be good on all the tools and employee services that are provided by your company. What does it mean? Every company, whether small or big, doesn't matter, they uses some kind of tools and services. For example, HRIS portal where all the employee information is stored, or there can be another portal where salary data and taxes related information is stored, or there can be another portal for your insurance and stuff like that. So basically there are a lot of benefits and the tools associated with those benefits. So the strategy is that you have to make yourself comfortable, or if you can become expert, even better. You should be comfortable in using all those tools and you should know all the functionalities of those tools. Now, what will happen if you do this? See, most of the employees are lazy. They just want quick answer to their one or two query. They never bother to learn about the whole tool or how different things are done in different tools. So if you are someone who already knows it by heart, then people will reach out to you, and if you solve their queries then and there, then you will get the visibility in a very easy way. I mean, you do not have to do much and you will be famous for no reason, to be very honest. Now, there's no rocket science in it. I mean, that person can go to the respective team, to the team where the tool belongs. For example, for HRIS, they can go to the HR team. For insurance thing, they can go to the insurance team. But most of the employees prefer asking from a peer than asking from these teams. I don't know why that is, but that's very common and it's human nature. So they will reach out to you, and if you get popular with this perception that you are somebody who knows it all and you can help, then that perception goes a long way. That paints a picture that you are somebody who is very responsible, who takes the responsibility, help others, and this strategy really puts you in limelight for very little effort. So you definitely do not want to miss this one out. Now, moving on to our next point, which is upgradation of skills. Now, these can be certifications or internal trainings that are encouraged by the company. These days, most of the MNCs have university level courses hosted on their internal training websites, and unfortunately, not many employees make use of those trainings. As a HR, let me tell you this thing, that whenever you do these kind of trainings, whether internal or external certifications, you are rewarded with points, and these points get counted in your performance appraisal as well. Along with your KPIs, these points get added, and then your final score is calculated, basis which you are given your performance appraisal, your hike. So these trainings things are really important. That is one benefit that you get out of it. The second benefit is that these courses are so good. Sometimes you find a new technology which has just hit the market. You find courses on that. You can learn from those courses, and who knows, you like those courses better or that technology better than the technology you're currently working on. And if you can learn it well, you can try for a switch outside, and you might end up getting a fortune of hike basis that new technology course. So in my opinion, it's a win-win situation. Now I'm not here encouraging you to leave a company, but on your journey of becoming a star employee, making yourself equipped with this kind of knowledge is really necessary, because you will stand out among the crowd because only you have done it, or maybe like 2-3 people from the entire team or department have done it, because most of the people do not do it. I can tell you that for sure. So if out of 100 people, 2-3 people have done it, they will by default be in the visibility zone of the manager or the management. And the second benefit anyways, I've told you, so you do not want to miss it. Now the next point on the list is practice keeping records of every single thing, be it your meetings, MOM, be it your email records, be it the records of your achievements, especially if somebody gives you a verbal appreciation. It can be your client who says you have done a great job. It can be a peer, your manager. If anyone gives you a verbal appreciation, just kindly request them that it would be great if you can send me a written note about the same. It will help me a lot. And believe me, people do not deny it. They do share positive feedbacks, and if they are really happy about your work, they will send you a written communication, and this record of your achievements will help you demand that hike, that position that you deserve, that you think you deserve. If you are by default not given that promotion or that hike, you can challenge the decision with these kind of records. So keeping records is very important. Another important thing is keeping records of your meetings. So whenever there is a meeting with, especially with any senior person, then make sure that you take notes of every single thing, and then what you have to do is make a group, or you can say channel, of all those people who were in that meeting on your Teams chat or any other platform that you're using, and then broadcast or put those points, bullet points that you have noted into that chat. This will bring to you a very positive visibility. The person looking at it will feel that you are someone who is responsible, who cares what we discussed in the meeting. You care how we will track the progress. You care when next we will be meeting to have an update about that particular task. And if feasible, you can even send a calendar then and there about the next meeting of that particular discussion. So it will immensely help you. It will give you so much visibility. And same goes for any important events or any important changes, update that has happened in your field. Try to keep a record of all of that. Now moving on to our next tip, which is having a solution-oriented approach rather than a complaining attitude. Now what does it mean? It simply means that, say for example, if you're facing any problem related to your work or team or some member or maybe with client, and it's a repeated problem, then obviously you will approach your manager for that. But when you reach your manager with that problem, you also carry along few solutions that you can suggest to your manager, maybe 2-3 of them. And then you tell your manager that there is some issue that you're facing repeatedly or your team is facing, and you have already done the homework. There are a few ways in which you can address that problem, and then you suggest those solutions, and then let the manager decide which works the best. Now in this scenario, even if your manager do not agrees with your solution, or he or she gives a solution which is altogether different from what you suggested, still the situation will play in your favor, because the person will think that you are not somebody who is always coming to the manager with a lot of complaints, but you are willing to put in the effort, you are willing to do the homework, and you also came up with the solutions as well from your side, because not many people do it. Most of the people have this approach where they'll just complain about things. They'll go to the manager, complain about things, and even if the manager asks what do you think what the solution is, their approach will be like, oh, that's your job, you are the manager, you are supposed to find out the solution, not us. We are here to just tell the problems, and that's what we are telling. So these kind of employees are there for the majority of the population. So if you adopt a solution oriented approach, you will stand out for sure. Next on the list is uplifting others, especially in your team and especially your juniors. Now, if you are in a team which hires a lot and every now and then there's a new joinee, if feasible, try to train those newcomers in your team and especially your juniors. There are many benefits of doing this. Number one, obviously your manager will depend on you. He or she will have a very positive perception about you, that you're so good at your work that you are also giving training to other people so that they can start delivering with the same quality. That is one thing. Second thing is, when when these people grow into more experienced professionals or grow further in their career, they will always have this unwavering respect for you. Why? Because you have taught them. You are their true mentor. So they will look up to you for suggestions, for advice, and in the future you will have high chances of taking that leadership role, because everybody will choose you because they have seen you as a mentor. So it's by default in their brains that this person is somebody who can take us ahead, and collectively they all will choose you, and very easily you will pick up on a leadership profile where people are happy with you and they look up to you. Now, the last and the most powerful tip, or I should say the most powerful strategy to become a star employee, is try to become a backup to your manager. This is the most powerful strategy if you can do this. Now, what you have to do is you have to take up tasks and responsibilities which usually your manager does, and take care of those tasks and responsibilities in the absence of your manager. And whatever or how much ever your manager assigns you, try to take care or deliver a little more than that. And especially if someone is absent from work, that means they have something urgent to attend to in their personal life. It can be either vacations or some literal emergency. And when somebody is on vacation or on emergency, the last thing they want to hear from you is work. Nobody likes notifications from work during those moments. And if they come back and they realize that there was a lot that happened in their absence, but you handled it so well that no escalation happened, everything went so smoothly, you didn't let those things impact their vacations for whatever reason, and you handle it so well. In these scenarios, your manager will himself nominate you for leadership position. As and when he will move the hierarchy up, he would want you to take up his position so that he always has someone to rely on, to depend on, because they now have confidence on you. They know that this is an employee he or she can depend on. So that's one benefit. There's another very beautiful benefit of this approach, that is, even when that manager leaves the company, they would want you to come along with them so that they can work with you basically. So when they reach a new place, a new company, they miss that reliability because everybody is new. They can't rely on anyone. They can't trust anyone fully. So they would miss that reliability in the new organization as well. And for sure, they will reach out to you to know your interest if you're interested to join. And in some cases, it's kind of an obligation where the manager says, you have to come. Now, you might be in a situation, or you might have an interest to go, or you might be in a situation where you feel, I'm not sure if I want to jump. How will I crack the interview? It's a new technology, all that stuff. But your manager will make everything easy for you, and you will not have to start from scratch. Why? Because you have already proved your capabilities in front of your manager. He already knows your potential. He will assign you great projects from the day one in the new company. You do not have to prove yourself again in that new company. And to be very honest, it's not an easy strategy to implement. It's not like the other tips that you just implement them and you start noticing the difference and you can feel the visibility. Here you have to do a lot of things, because in one day you will not become the backup of your manager. You will have to repeatedly, continuously prove yourself for a certain period of time, and then once you have proved yourself enough, then after that you can reap the benefits of your hard work. So guys, I think we have discussed a lot of tips. So let's quickly summarize so that you can take a note and you do not miss out on anyone. So I'll quickly read out all of them from my notes. So we started with shorter turnaround time or response time, then delivering as per your KPIs. KPIs has to be your Bible. Being the SPOC in your team, which means being the face of your team. Presentation skill for every single task, where we talked about standardizing your email skills, your presentation skills, your Excel skills, all the skills. Then we discussed that you have to be hands-on on every single tool and service portal that is provided by the company for all the employees. Then upgradation of the skills with the certifications and with in-house trainings. Then practicing, keeping records for everything, for your achievements, plus for meetings, for events, for any changes, everything. And then having a solution-oriented approach rather than a complaining attitude. Then is uplifting others in your team, especially your juniors. And towards the end, the master strategy, which is becoming a backup to your manager. So that was it, guys. I really hope you learned something new in this video. And if you still have any queries, make sure that you put them in the comment section down below. I'll try to answer them to the best of my abilities. If not, then I'll include them in my upcoming videos. With that, I'm signing off. You keep on watching more content on the Corporate Diaries to be corporate ready. And I'll see you in my next video. Till then, stay safe and healthy. Take care.